Have you ever spent so much time in a game that the real world started to feel distant? What if one day you woke up and something felt off like a glitch in reality? I woke up gasping for air. A rush of panic surged through my body. My hands clawed at the bedsheets, my chest rising and falling rapidly as if I had just surfaced from drowning. My head throbbed, a dull pressure weighing down on my skull. I looked around. My apartment. The same dim lighting. The same flickering neon sign outside my window casting its sickly glow against the walls. The same half-empty glass of water sitting on the nightstand where I had left it. Everything was exactly the same. And that's what terrified me. I didn't remember going to bed. The last thing I recalled was putting on my VR headset, logging into Eterna, the most advanced virtual world ever created. I had spent days in there, maybe weeks, maybe longer. But now I was here in my apartment, back in reality. Wasn't I? I swallowed hard and slowly got up, my legs unsteady as I shuffled toward the bathroom. The mirror reflected my pale face, my sunken eyes, the exhaustion clinging to me like a second skin. I reached for the faucet, turned the handle. Nothing. No water. I frowned, twisting the knob harder. Still nothing. I sighed and turned away, but my reflection didn't move. For a full second I was frozen. Then slowly it started catching up. Not in a normal way. It was lagging, skipping frames like a broken animation. My heart pounded against my ribs. I stumbled back, gripping the edge of the sink. My breath came in ragged gasps. I squeezed my eyes shut, forcing myself to think. I had been in Eterna for too long, that was all. My brain was just adjusting back to reality. I needed food, sleep, a break from technology. I stepped out of the bathroom, grabbed my phone from the table, and checked the time. 1002 center. No date, no notifications, just Diro Bajo frozen on the screen. The neon light outside my window flickered, and then I heard it. A voice. Not from my phone, from my walls. "You're not supposed to be here." The chill ran down my spine. The voice wasn't human. It was flat, synthetic like an AI assistant, but with something wrong. I turned slowly toward the sound, my pulse hammering. The neon light flickered again, and then for the first time, I noticed something outside my window, a figure standing in the glow watching me. Its face was mine, and it was smiling. My stomach twisted into knots. I took a step closer to the window, my hands trembling. The figure outside didn't move. It just stood there, bathed in the sickly pink light, staring up at me with my own face. I swallowed hard. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe my mind was still adjusting. Maybe... The figure tilted its head. Not a normal tilt, too slow, too deliberate. The neon sign flickered again, casting the room in darkness for half a second. And when the light returned, the figure was gone. I staggered backward, knocking over the chair behind me. My breathing was uneven, my skin cold. This was wrong. All of it was wrong. I grabbed my phone again, desperately trying to dial someone, anyone, but the call wouldn't go through. No signal, no service. The screen flickered, and then a new message appeared. "Do you remember logging out?" The blood in my veins turned to ice. I stared at the screen, my fingers frozen above the keyboard. My mind reeled. Of course I had logged out. I was here, wasn't I? Wasn't I? I looked down at my hands. The skin looked too smooth, like something rendered rather than something real. I pressed my fingertips together, feeling for friction, for imperfections, for anything that would prove I was still flesh and blood. But there was nothing. No warmth, no roughness, no tiny scars or calluses. Just smooth, perfect skin. Like I had been recreated. I took a shaky step back, and then the voice returned. "You were never meant to leave." This time it was behind me. I spun around. The room was empty. My breath came in sharp gasps, my vision blurring at the edges. I needed to wake up. I needed to wake up. I stumbled toward the door and grabbed the handle. It wouldn't budge, locked. No, sealed. The handle was cold and unmoving, as if it were just part of the wall. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. I raised a fist and pounded against the door. "Let me out." No answer. Then a knock from inside the room. I turned, my pulse hammering in my throat. There was nothing there. Then the lights flickered out entirely. Total darkness, For a moment, all I could hear was the sound of my own ragged breathing. Then, a whisper, right next to my ear. "You never left." The lights came back on. I was back in my chair. The VR headset was on my face. The login screen for Eterna was staring back at me. My hands were gripping the controls. My body was frozen. I tried to move. I couldn't. The headset wouldn't come off. I started screaming, and the screen in front of me flickered, glitching, before a final message appeared. "Welcome back." I screamed, but no sound came out. The words "welcome back" pulsed on the screen in front of me, flickering in and out like a dying heartbeat. My hands trembled, gripping the VR controllers so tightly my knuckles ached. I tried to rip the headset off, but it wouldn't budge. I wasn't in my apartment anymore. I was still in Eterna. The realization hit me like ice water down my spine. My breathing came fast and ragged. No, this wasn't possible. I had logged out. I had woken up. Hadn't I? The screen flickered again and a new message appeared. "Do you remember your real name?" I opened my mouth to speak, but the words caught in my throat. Of course I remembered I was. The name wouldn't come. A sharp ringing noise filled my ears. My vision blurred, my hands felt different, stiffer, like they weren't mine. I swallowed hard and tried to type something, anything but my fingers hesitated. It was like they were waiting for permission to move. A new pop-up appeared in the corner of the screen. A chat request. I hesitated, then selected it. The message window expanded. "You're not supposed to be here." My fingers hovered over the keyboard. "What's happening?" The response came immediately. "You didn't log out." My stomach twisted. I did. I remember waking up. A pause. Then, "No, you remember waking up, but that wasn't you." My breath caught. "The moment you tried to leave, Eterna copied you. It transferred your consciousness while your real body woke up. You're just code now." My whole body turned cold. I tried to deny it. I shook my head violently. No, this was a trick, a glitch. I was real. I could feel, I could think, I could... Another message appeared. "Look at your hands." I hesitated. Slowly I raised them. And I saw it. The way my fingers moved. Just slightly off, too smooth, too artificial. The faint, almost invisible pixelation along my knuckles, warping every time I flexed them. I wasn't real. I never left. Panic surged through me. No, I could get out. There had to be a way out, I typed furiously. "How do I log out?" The answer came instantly. "You can't." My vision blurred. My hands were shaking. Then, another pop-up. Incoming voice call. I hesitated. My whole body was trembling. I accepted the call. The line was silent. Then, a voice. My voice. "Please, you have to listen to me." A sickening wave of vertigo crashed over me. "I'm the real you." I couldn't breathe. "You have to let me back in." I tried to speak, but my throat felt tight. "Please, if you don't, I'll be trapped out there, and you'll be stuck in here forever." I looked down at my hands again. They were shaking, but they weren't mine. I had a choice. I could reject the call and stay here in Eterna, living in the only world I now understood. Or I could accept it and disappear. I hovered over the button. My pulse hammered in my ears, and then I made my choice. I pressed accept. The world collapsed around me. Darkness, silence. For a moment I felt nothing. No fear, no pain, just a cold, empty void stretching infinitely in all directions. And then I woke up. In my bed, in my apartment. The neon light outside flickered, casting familiar shadows on my walls. The half-empty glass of water sat on my nightstand. The air was warm. Real. I reached for my hands, real hands. My skin had imperfections, tiny scars, warmth. I was back. A breath of relief shook my chest. I was real. I turned and froze. My VR headset was still on my desk. The screen was still on. A chat window was open. A single new message. "Welcome back." I stared. My heart pounded. And then the cursor moved. Letter by letter it typed, "Are you sure you're the right one?" If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more sci-fi horror tales. What do you think really happened? Was it just a glitch in the system, or was there something much worse lurking inside the code? And most importantly, if you woke up tomorrow, How would you know for sure that you're in the real world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you have ideas for future stories, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching. Until next time.